What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Trade Reviews brought to you by Let's Talk Dynasty at the League FFB. What we do in this series is we go ahead and we review subscriber and Discord members' submitted trades. We do have a Discord. I'm going to pull it up onto the screen so you guys can see it. You see it right here. It is a free Discord. So you just click the link in the YouTube banner or in the video description. You join it. When you complete a trade, you post it in here. Make sure it says trade completed, and we review it on the show. I give you guys some insight, my thoughts, my opinions. Sometimes you might like my opinions, sometimes you might not. But at the end of the day, we're talking Dynasty, and that's what this is all about. So I don't really want to waste any time. Let's just get right into these first trades. And you see Alex82, he has a triplet of trades that he has posted in here. I want to bring them up. And while I open this up, I do want to mention to you guys, the best thing you can do to support the show is hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then comment. So if you could do one, two, or all three of those things, it really does help the show. It helps small channels like mine grow. And then if you want your trades reviewed on the show, go ahead and join that Discord and post some trades up in there. So the first trade we have here is Deshaun Watson for the 103. I do typically like to see the person submitting say whether it is super flex, tight end, premium, PPR, 10 teams, 12 teams. I do want to see that type of information. And if I'm not mistaken, he didn't post that. Let me just check. Okay, 12 team super flex rebuilding. So there we know. We know that for his trades. So with that being said, when I'm looking at that 103, what I see is likely the 101 or the consensus 101 in leagues this year is Bijan Robinson. That's who people tanked for. It was tanked for Bijan. That's likely who's going to go one-on-one in most of your leagues. So then at 102, you're looking at probably, in my opinion, CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. I lean Bryce Young at the 102. I know a lot of people don't like Bryce because of the height or they have concerns that way. But it really is going to go one of the two. So you're probably looking at the second of those two guys at that 103. So is it Bryce Young or Deshaun Watson? Is it CJ Stroud or Deshaun Watson? Because he tells us that he's rebuilding, I don't hate the trade. I think this is pretty good value. It's pretty fair value for Deshaun Watson. I think if I were rebuilding, I know it says he's getting Deshaun. I think in a rebuild, I would rather have Stroud or Bryce Young instead of Deshaun Watson. But like I said, this is good value for Deshaun Watson. So I can't fault you either way. I think I personally, in a rebuild, I'm going to keep that third overall pick, especially because it's going to grow in value. People are going to get pick hungry. People are going to get rookie fever. And it's going to gain a little bit more value as we get later into the offseason and closer to that NFL draft. So I probably would be holding the 103, but it is good value for Deshaun Watson. So I don't fault you for going Deshaun Watson in this deal, Alex. Let's pull up the second one. We did say 12-team Superflex rebuilding, right? So it looks like Tyreek Hill, Aaron Jones, Van Jefferson, and the 304 for Jerome Ford, a 2024 first, a 2025 first, and a 2024 second. So you said you're rebuilding, right? Tyreek Hill, 28 years old, is going to be going on to 29. Aaron Jones, he just restructured his deal. He's going to be sticking with the Packers, but he's aging. He's over the hill for running backs. Typically, at the age that he's at right now, we want to be looking to move on. Van Jefferson, he's okay, but I don't think he's really ever going to end up being anything special. I had high hopes at one point, but I just really don't think that he's really going to turn into what we thought he was going to be. So really what I'm seeing here is a 2024 first, a 2025 first, a 2024 second for Aaron Jones and Tyreek Hill. The other stuff looks a little bit like fluff to me. Jerome Ford, the 304, and the Van Jefferson. That's kind of fluff. So two firsts, two future firsts, and a second for Tyreek Hill and Aaron Jones. It's not bad. I wish that 2025 first was either a 23 or a 2024. If it was earlier than 2025, I would feel like this is a smash accept. Um, but I think right now the consensus Dynasty owner is low on Tyreek Hill just because of the age. I think in a bubble, I would be leaning with keeping Tyreek Hill, unless I could get that 2023 first or a 2024 first. But because you're rebuilding and you're blowing it up, you're trying to go get younger, you're trying to get more assets. This is a good move for your roster. Um, just getting liquid, right? You're trying to get liquidity in the roster with the picks, and then you're just moving on from some of these older assets. So it's not a bad trade again for you there. I think in a bubble, I would like to get more out of Tyreek Hill, but if this is the best compensation you could have got in your league, then this is what you got to do. You got to keep in mind that every league's market is different. Some leagues you play in, picks might be valued very highly. Some leagues you play in, they might be valued very low. It just really depends. Every league is its own market, and you got to treat every league differently. What happens in one is not always going to happen in others, and so you got to go into mind with that when you're making trades in your leagues and things like that. So I do like this trade for you as a rebuilder. You are getting some liquid assets, and those are only going to go up in value as this year and the next year goes on. So, not a bad deal for you there as a rebuilding team. Then we have this last one, Cam Akers for the 208 in 2023. So 208, and it looks like that's your pick. So it looks like you had a decent season, fairly late pick. I know you said 12 teams, so you finished in fourth or fifth place right there. Um, I think this is good value for Cam Akers. I'm not a huge Cam Akers advocate, but I am always willing to buy a player when the price is right. And to me, this is good value for Cam Akers. I can't imagine you're able to get many better running backs at this cost. And Cam Akers is still fairly young. He had a decent end to the year. Um, it is not a bad buy whatsoever from your team. And this is a 12-team league, so that 208 is the 20th player in the draft. I do like this for you. Um, that's a great trade for you. Cam Akers for the 208. I like the Cam Akers side here. So, we have this one 12-team super flex PPR tight end premium start 10. Big boy trade here, man. Jalen Hurts going to Dewbridge, and then Derek Carr, Christian McCaffrey, Kenneth Gainwell, Jahan Dotson, and the 108 going to Shade. Um, man, dude, that is a trade, isn't it? I mean, automatically, it's super flex. It's 12-team. Jalen Hurts is one of the elite of the elites for the quarterback position in super flex leagues. Chris McCaffrey is elite in himself, but he's aging. Um, and the 108, man, that's not. I mean, we're out of the superstars, in my opinion, or the potential stars, in my opinion, in this year's class when you get to that 108. So, um, Derek Carr, he's going to find another job. He's going to be a starter wherever he goes, I think. And Chris McCaffrey, he's going to be good. Who knows what, one or two more years for Chris McCaffrey, possibly. I like Jahan Dotson. Kenny Gainwell is nothing to me. And that's a little bit of the harsh reality. So I love this trade for you, Dewbridge. I am going to be leaning the Jalen Hurts side whenever I can go get a difference maker and a just straight up baller in Jalen Hurts, man. I'm gonna go get Jalen Hurts. And if all it takes is Derek Carr and an aging Christian McCaffrey and a 108, sign me up, man. I'll buy Jalen Hurts for that price any day, all day. So you see there's one more trade in here. I posted these ones before we had a couple other people in the chat, but Tyson M702 and Vegas Sinatra. You see it's Amari Cooper, James Conner, and a 2024 first for J.K. Dobbins, the 110, and Nico Collins. So when I look at this trade, I think the best player in the deal is probably J.K. Dobbins. Um, but it's close. It's between him and Amari Cooper. And then it comes down to the 110. So I think for me, when I look at this deal, I'm taking J.K. Dobbins. I'm taking Amari Cooper over the 110. I'm taking J.K. Dobbins over James Conner, and I'm taking the 24 first over Nico Collins. So in this deal, I think just looking at it, it's a fair deal. It's a close deal, but I am gonna lean the I am gonna lean Amari Cooper, James Conner, and the 24 first for this package deal here. Man, that was a tough one. Um, and then you got this one, man. Showstopper and Vegas Sinatra. We got DK Metcalf, Damian Pierce, and the 110 for Drake London, the 107, and the 203. So that 110 is moving up to the 107. Damian Pierce for the 203, and then it's a Drake London and DK Metcalf swap. I think I value DK a little bit more than Drake London right now. I value that 203 in a 10-team league more than Damian Pierce, and that 107 obviously I value more than the 110. So I am going to lean. I think I'm going to lean with Vegas Sinatra on this one. I want Drake London, the 107 and the 203. It's a fair deal. It's a very fair deal. This is probably the fairest deal that I think I've seen of all the trades we've reviewed so far. But I do want to move up a little bit. I think getting into that 107 range, I just like the prospects there or the potential prospects there more than I do at the 110. Um, you could argue that it's a straight even swap between DK and Drake. I prefer DK, but I think they're in the same tier. And then I'll get rid of Damian Pierce for the 203 if it means I get to move up a couple picks in the first round. So I am going to take Vegas Sinatra's side on this deal. Then we have this one, Alan Lazard for Devin Duvernay and JaMychal Hasty. Look, man, I'm taking Alan Lazard. I had him as a potential buy in our top 5 free agent wide receiver videos that I posted just last week. Duvernay and Hasty are worthless, man. And I don't mean it to sound harsh, but I just don't really want to roster either of those guys on my dynasty teams. And Lazard has some appeal, so I'm going to take Alan Lazard, man. That's a cheap price to pay for Alan Lazard. And you see Tyson was probably watching the video because he went and bought Lazard again. Odell Beckham for Alan Lazard. I'm going to take Lazard, man. Odell, he's just he's getting to the age now where wide receivers are getting over the hill. I think he's going to be 30 this year, and he's coming off of tons of injuries, ACLs and things like that. If he signs somewhere, they're going to try and use him, I think. But ultimately, if you're trying to reset and you're trying to just go get a guy who's going to have more longevity, I like Alan Lazard here, so I'm going to go Alan Lazard on this deal as well. Dubridge, he says, interesting one. Honestly, not a fan of any of the players involved. LOL. 12 team, super flex, tight end premium, full PPR, start 10. We have Chris Godwin, Irv Smith, and Antonio Gibson given away for Christian Watson, James Mitchell, and the 201. This is an interesting deal. And did he say this is? Yeah, he said 12 team. Whew. I think the best player in the deal is Chris Godwin. Then the second best asset is probably Christian Watson, followed by the 201. And then Antonio Gibson. To me, it's just determining how much more I value Irv Smith than James Mitchell, which is obviously quite a bit. And is it worth it? So I think, honestly, in this one, sorry to tell you, but I do prefer the Godwin, the Gibson, and the Irv side. Because Christian Watson's fun, man. He was exciting this year. He scored a lot of touchdowns, but I prefer Chris Godwin and Antonio Gibson in this trade. And I know you said you don't love any of the players involved, so I understand. Um, and then we also have this one, man. So this is let's see, this is 12 team Superflex tight end premium PPR start 10. Says the first should be late. So Treylon Burks for a late 24 first, and then some fluff. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take Treylon Burks. He was drafted fairly high in 2023 rookie draft. I mean 2022 rookie drafts, and I think he's hurt a lot of the year, and he showed a good amount of flashes. I think at times. So if it's a late 2024 first, man, give me the player now. I want to see Treylon Burks develop a little bit. He should be able to be the number one in that offense this year, and hopefully take a step up in year two. So I'm going to take Treylon Burks over the late first in 2024 and the fluff. And let's see, we're at about 17 minutes. I'll do a couple more. Let's see. Hunter Renfrow for 2/4 and some fab. Well, I'm just gonna take Hunter Renfrow, man. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Fourth round picks are there's shots in the dark, man. And if you can get anybody who has any type of value for a fourth round pick, I'm gonna take it. And so sorry, Tyson. I know you were trying to get rid of Renfrow. I would just rather keep Renfrow than get a package a couple fourths. Then you have this one, and this is a 3-team deal, man. And so let's just sum this up. Brandon or Killa B is going to get Cooper Kupp. He's giving up Devontae Adams and Okonkwo. Tyson's going to get Adams, a 504, a 302, and a 24 third. And then Fandango is going to get Swift, Willis, and Okonkwo. So let's just look at them all individually, right? I hate looking at 3-team trades. They always leave some room for interpretation, but Cooper Kupp for Adams and Okonkwo, I like it. It's a year younger, and I think you're trading an elite wide receiver asset for an elite wide receiver asset, so you get a little bit younger. I'm not mad at you for it, so I think that's a good deal for Killa B. Tyson, he's getting Adams, the 504, the third, and the 302 for Swift and Willis. I think the community is low on Swift. I think Adams is aging a little bit, and Willis is tough, man. I think I would have liked to hold Willis right now. I don't know if I'd be giving up on Willis right now, but at the same time, I'm not mad at this trade. Adams and 2/3. This 504, I really could care less about that. But Adams and 2/3 for Swift and Willis, I'm not mad at you. Maybe could have got a tiny bit more in a deal like this. And I think maybe it's just because I'm valuing Willis a little bit higher than most. But yeah, I'm not mad at you for this. And then Fandango, he gets Swift and Willis and Okonkwo for Kupp, 2/3, and a 5th. I think it's decent, man. I think it's fair for everybody involved, right? This is a fair trade for all parties. I think if anybody comes back and looks at this a year from now, the only person that possibly might be upset would be Tyson. And that's only if Swift gets freed up and Willis ends up becoming a starter, because there are rumors of Tannehill possibly not being the quarterback there. That might be the only way that he gets a little bit upset. And Fandango, possibly if Cooper Kupp just returns back to form, I think he's going to be upset that he made that trade. But I think it's a fair deal. It's an interesting deal, and it's not often you see 3-team trades with superstars like that in every position. So I think it's a good deal for everybody. Solid deal all around. You see, Marsh says loves to see it. And then we have one more. Let's just do this last one because we're at the bottom of the page. Kamara for Renfrow and 2/5. And this is a smash Kamara side for me. I am not ever trading Kamara for Renfro and 2/5. Those 2/5 are useless. They're waiver wire guys that you basically are picking up, and they're 2024. They're not even this year. That's a year in advance. Hunter Renfro could care less. Give me Kamara. I know he's older. I know he has a suspension possibly coming up, but I'm taking a half season of Kamara. I'm taking a fourth of a season, even if it's just fantasy football playoffs of a season of Kamara over these assets. So smash, 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 except from you, Tyson. That is a deal to end it off on. That's highway robbery. You just robbed him. So man, it is what it is. But like I said, if you guys want to get your trades up in this Discord, there is a link in the YouTube banner. There is a link in the description. Go ahead. Like I said, if you want to support the show, show a small channel like mine some support and help us grow. Just give it a like, comment, and subscribe. That's all you got to do, man. So post some more trades in the Discord. I'll post another trade review show in about 2 weeks. And we'll go from there. So we got a live stream on Monday. I'll see y'all there. Peace out.